For years and years, Australia was the fourth of the majors in every sense, because for years and years, top players wouldn't even bother to make the trip.
Bjorn Borg, he went down to Kooyong and played once, and he said, he'll never do it again.
The international players thought it was a dirt track. It wasn't an international standard court.
As the match wore on, McEnroe became increasingly annoyed with what he later described as a surface unfit for tournament play.
Well, McEnroe down, all his opponent has to do is hit it into court, which he does. 30-15, code violation, audible obscenity, warning Mr. McEnroe.
It'd be better tennis for everyone if they could see someone where you can move on the court. It's not good enough to play tennis on.
You know, there was less prize money, of course, than the other slams.
There was no incentive for many players to come.
It was kind of the junior Grand Slam, and yet our history was so enormous, which is why it was a Grand Slam in the first place. The only four countries that originally won the Davis Cup were France, Australia, Great Britain and USA. That's where the Grand Slam came from. So by tradition, we were a Grand Slam, but we weren't pulling our weight.
There's no denying that Kooyong is old. It's also uncomfortable.
But if the Victorian State Government and the Lawn Tennis Association of Australia have their way, the Australian Open in 1988 will move to another venue.
And this is where it will be. Flinders Park, just a stone's throw from the MCG.
Except at the time, in Victorian politics, it was a highly contested idea.
And basically all of that area is now occupied by car park.
My party were in opposition at the time. We opposed where he was siting it because it was going to take away valuable open space.
That would turn this parkland into an absolute quagmire. It would destroy the parkland, and it would certainly, ultimately, kill off all of these trees.
How did you oppose
Oh,
his
just like
plans?
all politicians, we just talked. I mean, we had no power, and thankfully Premier John Cain took no notice of us, and he went on and he built it.
While the outside courts are being prepared for surface laying, it's in the centre court area that the race against time is obvious.
The first event there will be next week's Ford Australian Open. In a matter of days, the 15,000 seats will be crammed with spectators, and Australia's newest and best tennis centre will come to life for the first time.
Undeniably one of the loneliest places in the country today, the home of the Australian Open for the past 16 years, Kooyong has bowed out gracefully to almost $100 million and 23 months of fevered activity in Flinders Park.
Like many politicians in opposition, when it opened, I was there to enjoy the hospitality and enjoy the game. Politicians have got to be flexible at times, you understand.